Hey guys, Felipe here. So in this video, I'm going to change it up a little bit and I'm going to do a command line training. So basically, to get started, I just love quotes. So here we have one. Don't check whether it is a duck. Check whether it quacks like a duck, walks like a duck. Depending on exactly what subset of duck-like behavior you need to play your language games with. And that is by Alex Mortelli. Little history, Unix was an operating system developed at AT&T Bell Labs in the 1960s through the 1980s. Time sharing, Unix was originally built for large mainframe computers that many people would use at the same time. Teletype legacy, every program on a Unix system can read from the standard input device, STDIN, standard in, and write to standard out, STD out, standard out. By default, standard in comes from the keyboard and standard out gets printed to the graphical display. Organizations, the Unix OS is a collection of programs, each with a special job. The kernel at the core, you have the kernel. The kernel is a program that manages resources. Shell, a program that runs other programs. Utilities are little system tools. Maybe you write them, maybe the system provides them. Kernel, so basically access between user programs and system resources, CPU scheduling, IO to computer hardware, memory, programs, requests, resources by making a system call. So the kernel is basically the core. The shell is a program, a computer program that can execute other programs from a text-based interface. In a text-based interface, you can interact with a program completely from the command line with text commands and text outputs, which we'll go into in a little bit. Most modern shells are strongly influenced by the first Unix shells. Utilities, any distribution of Unix will come with dozens of other programs that perform narrow single-purpose tasks. The available utilities on a given system vary widely, but some utilities are very common. So here we have one of the commands, echo, and you can kind of try this on any terminal. Echo is a command, and then shell over here is an argument. You can have as many other words as you want that are to the right of the commands. These are the different type of arguments, and the arguments customize how the command should work. Echo is a very simple command that prints out a string. So it is a handy way of providing stuff for standard out or just printing different commands that read from standard in. This is not very useful by itself, but it becomes useful when combined with redirects and pipe. So basically here, I can just switch quickly. And you can type this anywhere, just basically echo and then shell, uppercase, because it's an environment variable. And it should print, the location. So going back to where we were, switching to this screen over here. Alias, so basically you can create alias for any command. Here you have an example of what you would put in the command line, alias for ls, which is list equals ls-1. So you'll basically, just by inputting ls, it will be the equivalent of inputting ls-1. You can do this with any command, but unless you save it when the terminal is closed, it goes to default behavior. So you have to save it in a file as an environment variable. Otherwise, it will not work when you close and reopen the terminal. Special directories, dot is the parent directory, dot the current directory, and then tilde your home directory. Absolute and relative paths that start with one period or two periods are relative paths that start with / or tilde are absolute paths. It doesn't matter where you are in the directory system with the CD commands. They'll work the same from anywhere. pwd, which is a command, gets the absolute path of where you currently are in the system. And then ls gets the absolute path. Copy, which is a command basically for copying files. You can just do, as it says here, cp, copy this to that. All the rules of paths apply. cp-r, the R flag for some programs take flags that accept values. A flag is a special kind of argument that starts with a dash or something with two dashes. It's also called the switch statement. -R usually stands for recursive. So let's try this one out. Let me just swap over here to the terminal, and we'll try the cd12. So change directory to desktop, and then here we'll make a directory called command line, and then we'll change directory into command line. All right, so let's create a file, right, called beep.txt, and let's add some stuff to that. Let's add some text to beep.txt, and then let's see what's inside beep.txt, which is hello. Okay, so now we can use the copy command, copy beep.txt to message.txt, and then now beep message should have the same content of beep, which is hello, right? So let's cat message, and it says hello. So that's basically the copy command. So let's switch over and keep on going. So let's see what's next over here. The move command. The move command is used to rename and overwrite files and directories. To rename a file, set the first argument to the new rule or destination directory. So basically, to change or rename message.txt, we use the move command and then follow it by what we want to rename it to. So let's swap over here again quickly and play around with this. So here we have message, right? So if we use move message and then msg.txt, which I renamed it wrong, but you can kind of see here, it renamed it to mdg.txt. So we can do that again, move this to message.txt, and then we can see here, we renamed it again, right, through the terminal. So let's swap back over here again. Brace expansion sequences. So this is pretty cool stuff. It can be tedious to type out numerical lists by hand. Brace expansions can help with that. For example, echo wow 1.10, which would be basically 1 through 10. Make directory -p images /image 0.100. So it'll create a directory named images and then 100 images files inside of it. You can even specify an amount to skip. For example, echo image 100.10 basically skips by 10. You can also chain the brace expansions together, which does a kind of centric enumeration. When you use brace expansions, it generates patterns. And star, for example, which is a wildcard, will look for files if they exist. And then here we have an example, echo braces. So let's play around with that and see how that looks. So change over here. All right, so basically, if we follow the first one, echo wow 1.10, it's gonna echo that 10 times, right? So now if we make directory dash p images / image, and then do 0.100. We should have 100 of these files inside images. So let's see, ls images. Yep. So we have 100 of these images inside of the image files inside of the images folder, just by using that command there. And let's see, also this skipping. So echo image, and then we do 1.100 and then skip by 10. And then it should just skip by 10, right? Okay, there we go. So, and then finally, echo A, comma B, and then C, comma D. You can see that there.